all my weekend friends. Hopefully, you're doing fine. So, today we're talking two topics. One, if you're here in the Carolinas, lucky you. We have a fantastic forecast. But then also, the National Weather Service officially released their winter outlook. So, we're going to focus in on not just here in the Carolinas, but also across the United States, what you can expect, or at least what they're saying going forward. And now, we're still well far out, but we already have winter on the brain, especially how cold it's been. But now we are heading on the up and up, a good direction. We had 4 straight mornings in Charlotte that were at that freezing point. 30, 31, 32, 36 were our low temperatures. Well, on top of Beach Mountain here, you can see some people on bicycles. Pretty cool this time of year since there's no snow. People are able to bike up there, hike, doing whatever. And our Lake Norman forecast showing nothing but blue skies. Today is one of those days because of a high pressure system. You're not really going to see too many clouds, maybe a couple at most, but it's more of a cloudless environment that we have to look forward to today. And also, we're finally back to normal. High temperatures should be around the lower 70s this time of year. Well, that's exactly what we're doing. So here's the setup. High pressure system in the Carolinas that keeps us nice and happy. Carolina blue skies for sure. There will be some rain in the outer banks. That's what that low pressure system's doing, just chilling off the shoreline, as you can see right there. And it's going to take its sweet time, and eventually it's going to work its way into New England. But I want to direct my attention back off towards the west, which is going to be our next rain chance. That is going to be here on Wednesday, heading into Thursday, where there's a chance even for some severe weather through the central part of the United States, even some severe weather associated with it today in the Pacific Northwest. But we're taking its time getting here. So it means we're dry today, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and actually at least half of your Wednesday so far, looking at the long range outlook. So speeding through it, high temperatures today, 72, as you notice, and the upper right, 71 is where we should be. So it's nice that we have that. Our low temperatures overnight tonight are on the way up, actually. So instead of having the 30s like what we had this morning, we had the mid 30s, we had the lower 40s. That's much better. We still should be close to the upper 40s for this time of year, but this weekend, lower to the mid 70s, sunshine each day. The only difference is Sunday could have a few extra clouds. So not even a big deal. And I really think the biggest thing for this forecast going forward, showing this again, is that we're really not going to have that much rain over the next 7 days. And our high temperature range is really going to be in a comfortable set for this time of the year. So, as I mentioned again, rain chances dry over the next 4 days, scattered rain, I would say late Wednesday, Wednesday night, heading into Thursday. And the weekend before Halloween does look like we will see some rain showers, I think, especially on Sunday. But if this forecast holds, it'll be dry for trick or treaters. So fingers crossed that comes to fruition. It doesn't get much better than this. I am loving this forecast. This one right here. 7 day forecast showing 74 to 76 starting tomorrow, pretty much the entirety of the week. A transition day on Friday before we see only the 60s, more clouds heading into the weekend. The other part of this tease was talking about winter. Say it ain't snow. Well, we were in the 30s. The temperatures that we had a couple of days ago were actually more indicative of the end of December to the beginning of January. So it's only a good response to talk about the winter outlook, right? So here it is. A closer look, and sorry if this is a little bit fuzzy for you, but this is a fresh from the National Weather Service, officially posted yesterday. So winter outlook is for 3 months. National Weather Service, weather meteorologists divide seasons into months. Exactly. So December, January, and February is what this is for. So we're heading into a La Nina season. This is the third winter we've done this. This typically means colder to the northwest, more mild to the southeast. So that's what you're seeing here. What this graph is representing is anything in the white is pretty much a flip of the coin. I know that's what we get as meteorologists, but you have a 50-50 shot at least just for average temperatures. The blues that you're seeing to the north in Minnesota, to Montana, up into Wisconsin, and also the opposite W, Washington, that's going to be the areas that have below normal potential. As for us, we're under a 33 percentile for an above average winter. So that means we're going to have a lot more of those warmer days, but you're also going to have some big cool snaps like what we just had. But then also for precipitation, typically you're going to have more storm systems that set up off towards the northwest in a setup like this. And that's exactly what this forecast is showing. So for temperature wise, above normal for the southeast. For precipitation wise, it's to the northwest. I think that you're going to see a lot more. And you're seeing that right here. Seeing the greens up there. Also, Midwest, such as Minnesota, Michigan, and here, the graphic. Let me go back to this. Different computer. There we go. Okay. It'll load up for you for a second. It bypassed us here. Having clicker problems today. The green here represents that likely you're going to have more rain, more snows. Michigan's a bullseye, but then also Montana, Idaho, and Washington. So that's a lot of those low pressure systems that circulate in some snow, those Alberta Clipper systems. But then to the south, expecting a drier trend, which is nice, but necessarily not a good thing. The reason why is just because we're already under kind of a significant drought the way things are trending. So right now, here's a fact. 59% of the United States is under some sort of drought. And that's either D0, which is a dry designation, or a moderate to severe, even exceptional drought. So it's showing that you're going to see a good portion of the country continue to worsen drought conditions because the South stays dry and the central part of the United States stays dry. You start to see an end to drought to the Pacific Northwest, which is expecting more precipitation. For the Charlotte area, it's the western side of the state that is dealing with dry to a moderate drought. That could worsen a little bit and also develop in some areas that otherwise haven't seen it. But why is this all happening? We always hear about La Nina or El Nino, the boy, how they control our forecast. Well, it's all depending on just the flow that the Enso cycle, which is just the general push and flow, how the jet stream glides, that's going to control our winter. So during a La Nina pattern, you see wet conditions in the Pacific Northwest, usually colder to the north, kind of a dry situation through the central part of the United States, a wetter zone for the Midwest, such as Indiana and Ohio, and then just warm and dry down to the south. So it looks like we're going to follow that up. And by the way, Antonio Charles, that was a very funny comment. I just read that one. He said, I don't need to read it. Just check the comments. That one just made me laugh. But you're looking at just a general dry chance. And that doesn't mean that, hey, you're not going to see snow, but we have a better shot of below normal snowfall as we've seen most years. But hey, it was last season that we still had 3 weekends in a row pretty much that you had 1 to 2 inches, where we had 4 total inches of snow last year. Same thing kind of goes. So this is very vague. This is just the first dose of information. Brad usually has his yearly winter outlook at the beginning of November, but right now in the National Weather Service, if you're taking anything from this as a wrap up, warm and dry following the La Nina pattern is likely what we're going to see this coming winter, which is nothing to complain about. So good news there. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm Chris Mulcahy. I hear what Sid says. I usually go opposite of what the National Weather Service says. Really, the biggest thing with these outlooks, it takes just one, especially here in the Carolinas. We could say it's going to be warm and dry, but we get one storm system, one snowstorm that could give us 4 inches of snow, then it's all a bust, because then we're immediately at the average or above average. So I think you could still have that chance. But I think what this is really saying is we're going to have more of those general warmer temperature swings for the southeast. You know how it is. Last Thanksgiving was near record breaking in the 70s. You're going to have those pulses throughout winter, like what we had a few years ago. February had a few record days in 2019 in the 70s. So I think you're going to have a lot of those swings, but then maybe 1 or 2 of those snow systems as it usually outgoes. So thanks a lot for listening to me. I'm meteorologist Chris Mulcahy again. I'm in for Brittany today. You can usually catch me doing traffic in the mornings or weather at noon. This used to be my old stomping ground, so it's good to be here. And I'm going to be back tomorrow morning as well. And looking forward to talking to you again. And thanks a lot for your comments. Take care.